Yes, people, welcome back to Weekly Surgery. The Albert J TV practice is open. Let's hit the intro before we get into this. And there you have it, people. Surround the intro into the Albert J TV practice. Stroke Weekly Surgery, people. Episode 21. That is my old door number. Not that that's really relevant to anybody watching this right now, but for me, it's quite personal. But people, obliterate the like button like I normally say and subscribe to the channel. As you can see, people, we have two amazing guests. This has been in the pipeline for a while because to me, sometimes duos and chemistry makes sense to me, and to get these two on, I'm bursting through the screen as you can see right now. So further ado, welcome to Weekly Surgery for the first time. I'm going to start with my other half of YouTube wife of the other half of North London, which I won't say on this channel, but people know what I'm talking about. Holly Agabar, welcome to Weekly Surgery for the first time, I believe it is, and welcome again back to Albert J TV. How are you?
No, thank you. I'm good. When you asked me to come on about Weekly Surgery, I was like, I think I just need a full body transplant if we're going to talk about Tottenham. But no, thank you for having me on, Albert. Like always, it's always a pleasure to come and talk to you.
It is. It's good to be reunited with the wife because, as I tell people many times, we don't see each other very often for obvious reasons. but we won't get into it. But yeah, great to get you on. And of course, we've got the Senny Sketchy Stroke Goal Art Soap people. The portrait queen of YouTube is here with me. Fran, welcome to Weekly Surgery for the second time.
Hello. It's one of my favorite shows. Such a pleasure. Let's get right down to business, get the forceps out. Thank you for having me on. I'm so excited to meet Holly, like another blonde female YouTuber. The first one was not that defines you, but you know, it's pretty cool. I know. I'm excited. Yeah, can't wait for this discussion.
Yeah, Fran, that is one of the best description I've ever heard in reference to Holly in my life, and I'd never support bloody Tottenham. But funny enough, actually, before we get into it, many people might not know, me and Holly actually never met each other until Finalissima, Wembley. There's evidence, people. I've got receipts, so I can find it. Where's it gone? Yeah, me and Holly, like, we've gotten like a house on fire. I know we hate each other's guts really because of the teams we support, but the meeting officially happened. I think it was the 6th of April, Wembley Stadium. And there we are. League Cup finally happened. As you can see, audio listeners, Holly has got a pint of Capri Sun in her hand. And I've got a program. But yeah, it was a pleasure to be back to Wembley after a very long sabbatical. And obviously to meet my YouTube Tottenham wife in Holly, it was an absolute pleasure. Even though I couldn't get myself a drink in the stadium, which was quite a funny story. But well, actually, I can tell it if you want me to. But yeah, obviously, I'm not a drinker. I'm not a drinker. Many people know.
Me neither.
So Holly and Jay's got their drink, you know, their nice pint. I've gone to queue up to get my drink now. My nice little soft drink. The guy said to me, "Oh, we don't sell any." I said, "Sorry." I said, "Wembley Stadium. 83,000 people here. There's kids here. There's no soft drink." He said, "No, there isn't." I said, "This is unbelievable." So he said, "No, I can offer you water." I said, "Are you serious?" So you're offering me water? I couldn't believe it. Now, either two things happened, right? He was genuinely being serious. There wasn't no soft drinks available, or it was just where I went to go and buy the drink. There wasn't any.
Maybe.
Because you can't be having the amount of kids in that stadium with no sugar. It's not right. It's against. It shouldn't happen. But yeah, that was a little story there. But Holly found it quite amusing at the time.
It was very
I
funny.
didn't find it funny.
You made up for it for your donuts at half time, so it's all right.
that tasted amazing. Oh my God.
Well, my dad's a veggie, and they didn't have any meat sandwiches at this pub, so they just said, "Do you want a lettuce sandwich?"
Are you serious?
Oh my days!
What the hell? But no, let me not ignore the beautiful people in the chat. Sorry, I just want to tell that quick story. But yeah, I got to meet my Holly. It was fantastic. It was emotional, and we saw and Holly got to see a trophy, which she said, by the way, not me. I'm not
I
digging
knew
her
you.
right. She said that. But we got Jez in the chat. Thank you, Jez, for tuning in. My brother from another mother from Hastings raised it. Ray, I'll be down in Hastings. We'll have a good night out, whatever we have down there. Doug's in there, Liverpool fan. Thank you, Doug. Tommy's in the chat. Go on, Tom. Actually, good to see you, brother. And of course, we have Mr. Agambar in the chat as well. No, that's right. That's very true. Yeah, that's very responsible. Yes,
that is my cousin, I think.
You think?
But like long lost cousins.
You think it's your cousin? Oh my God! Right. Okay. I've heard many things, but not that one before. Good gathering. Thank you. God, chat's live already. Thank you, man. Got two amazing guests. So let's get into it. Weekly surgeries, I've said to many people, it's not just Arsenal related. It gives me a lot of scope to get other fans on. Hence the reason why my YouTube Tottenham wife is on the panel. Right, bit of context to this. Going to come to Holly first. Character stroke temperament. Holly, sorry to go back a little bit, just a little bit, but what do you think was the main contributing factors to your defeat at home to Bournemouth last weekend?
Have we got enough time to spend a decade as I dissect it? Because there's lots of problems.
We've got plenty of time to talk about Tottenham in that respect.
To be honest with you, I think at this moment in time we don't have any direction. And when you've got a manager that obviously, again, I still think that Conte isn't technically sacked. I think they've just put him gardening leave, so they haven't got to pay him the full whack, and that's why Stellini and all his coaching staff are still there. So when you haven't really got any transparency in your team from the top, it kind of reflects on the players because they haven't got any backbone either. So I think that defeat to Bournemouth is just, again, it just optimises everything that's been going on recently at our club. It's just a mess from top to bottom.
Holly, I'll be honest. I want to ask you something else on top of that. But obviously, last Saturday was Grand National Day, right? So I mean, I'm not advocating gambling before people start getting on me, but I have the odd bit of change, for when I put football bets on. The best winner is both teams to score, but to get a result. I looked at the Tottenham Bournemouth and I said, no, I can't put money on. I can't see Bournemouth guy there getting 3 points and scoring. And they did. I think it's like 25-1. I think it was actually. I said, oh God, just like 15 quid on it. But no, I've got to be honest. I didn't see that coming. But if you actually look at some of Bournemouth's recent results, they beat Liverpool at home. They got a win against Chelsea. They were probably a little bit lucky against us at the Emirates, and they came to your patch. But do you feel any differently? I always say you kind of feel a certain way after the game, after the immediate aftermath. But how do you feel sort of 2 or 3 days afterwards?
To be honest with you, I think the way results have been going recently, I just feel numb. Normally, obviously, you'd feel a bit nervous for the game, this, that, and the other, but it's got to the point now. Not that I don't care, but it's like the careness is kind of slowly dipping away. It gets to the next fixture, I'm like, oh, here we go again. It's fine, cool. If we get a draw, that's a win in my eyes at this moment in time, because it is really getting that bad. And to lose the way we did, to score the first goal against Bournemouth, and then to come away with a loss, like it just, yeah, it's a mess at the moment. And like I say, it's just stemming from the top all the way down to the bottom. There's no direction, and that kind of is emulated within the game against Bournemouth again.
What must be so frustrating for you is that the owners put in obviously so much effort, time, thought, consideration into all of the extra football stuff. So outside of football, like
very much so.
Beyonce and the F1 track, and they try so hard with all that stuff. Fergus, but then it seems like the football pitch is just an afterthought, just one of many attractions at the
Tottenham
Stadium.
No, yeah, I think every Spurs fan at the moment, I mean, you've probably heard, but we're very torn as a fan base at the moment, whether it's our owners, whether it's this, that, or the other. But it's true, you can't deny the fact that it feels like everything is put towards everything off the pitch rather than on the pitch. And I think that's why fans are so frustrated, because like you joke, you say the F1 track, but we are literally putting an F1 track inside a football stadium, but we haven't even sorted the problems about our manager who runs our football team, which is the main reason why we have this football club. So insane. It is mad. And I think that's why, again, everybody's so fuming at the moment. And you'll probably get into it, Albert, but like when they were booing Sanchez at the weekend, their own fans were booing Sanchez. It just highlights the toxicity at our ground at the moment.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of infighting as well in your fan base. I've noticed from watching all the YouTubers and things like that.
Sorry, Holly. Sorry. Well, I know it's weekly surgery. Before, let me come in. Fergus, I love you, Fergus. What you're doing at the moment right now is perfect, if I'm honest. But obviously it's weekly surgery. But obviously, me and Fran are Arsenal fans, so it's going to be heavy off. But yeah, Holly, welcome to Fergus. Fergus is brilliant. I love Fergus. But
Holly, like a geezer, man.
Holly, your defense, man. Wow.
What defense?
I don't know what to say. I mean, I've got to be honest. When I saw the Bournemouth third goal, and fair play to the Bournemouth Twitter account, man. It was a beautiful tweet, man. I got to be honest. They said North London is red. For when you have Bournemouth Football Club coming to Tottenham Stadium, I said, wow. I had to quote tweet that. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. But no, the Sanchez thing, Holly, I'm with you. Like, we had a situation at Arsenal many years ago with Emmanuel Boué, who I think Gunnar Gavin has put in the chat. You can't, I don't care how bad things are. You cannot be doing that to one of your own players. You can't. You just cannot do it. There's no benefit of you doing that as a fan. You can sit there and tell me you pay your money, you go week in, week out. I don't care. I'm saying that. No, I'm not saying putting words in you two's mouth, but you can't do that. You just can't do it. But no, Holly, fair play. We're going to talk about sort of. I know you say don't care about this season, but we're gonna touch on fixtures a little bit later because both sets of clubs is season defining. But we'll come to that anyway. But let's come to Fran. Let's come to Fran actually. Talk about our beloved Arsenal. So yeah, Fran. 2 big games in recent weeks. It's not as if Arsenal been playing badly. It's just
stupid errors.
Yeah, when you're at this stage of a season and you're going for a league title and you take 2 points out of 6, being 2-0 up twice. Sort of, I've had a bit more time to reflect on it. Sort of taking in both games, not just obviously the game against West Ham, but what sort of negatives and positives do you take from the last 2 games, if you can, any at all?
Okay, so the first few days, it was overwhelmingly negative. But over the last day, I've come to kind of a more positive conclusion in that these last 2 results can work in our favour. So the negatives are quite obvious and have been spelled out 100 times by me especially. On my channel, I did a really angry player rating and all sorts. So obviously, it really dented our lead over City to the point where I think if they win their game in hand, they're 1 behind us. But is that right? I think.
We've got them. Yeah, it'll work out if they beat us anyway. Yeah.
Anyway, and also I really worry about what we've been kind of saying all season when the first 11 isn't there and everyone's fit, the drop off and like the chemistry just goes off and just goes whack. There doesn't seem to be, that just cohesion when we're having to sub out a couple of players, which is not good enough. And I think it stems from a lack of rotation, perhaps throughout the season. But yeah, lots of negatives and just lots of negatives. However, can I go on to the positives?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, 100%.
So recently, since mulling it over in my brain, I actually thought perhaps these last 2 fixtures are kind of like getting the dross performances out of the way. And I'd rather they happen now to kick the team up the backside to actually put in a statement performance against Southampton, then City. I think our team works really well when we're like making up for something. When we're just trying to maintain a lead, that's when we seem to just bottle it. So I think now, the bad performance is done, out the way, and hopefully that'll light a fire for them to step up their game for the next few games. So that's my take.
Yeah, Fran, Ferguson put that in the chat. What do you feel that result was for you? What was it? Was it arrogance or complacency, or a combination of both?
I actually don't think it was. I think it was a bit of complacency, but then it was just mistakes and poor performances from talisman players in our team actually just started whittling down everyone's confidence a little bit. So it started with a bit of complacency leading to mistakes. And once the mistakes started happening, everyone's heads just went. Partey was like physically wobbling his head on the pitch.
Oh my God.
Tierney looked underconfident. Saka looked like he didn't want to be on the pitch anymore. I think he should have been taken off. Like he was not having a good day, like mentally. So everyone's confidence was just getting chipped away the more that the game went. And the last half an hour was just kind of spineless and no fight. And it was very, very frustrating to watch. But yeah, these things can happen. So.
They can, Fran. And I got a very quick text message from the lady to my left.
Oh, I bet.
Very, very quickly after that result. Yeah. She didn't get back to my message very quickly when I messaged her Saturday afternoon. But
No.
Holly, coming to you. I know obviously this is a little bit. I know you don't want to talk about Arsenal, but you will because I'm gonna ask you anyway.
Great.
Yeah. What have you made of sort of? We're going to touch on it a little bit later, but yeah, we will touch on it a bit later because I've heard certain words being used about Arsenal from ex-professional footballers. Apparently it was a disaster for Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Apparently Rio Ferdinand, if United finish third and they've got a trophy, they've had a better season. That's only a small snippet. I'm telling you, there's more. So what have you made of sort of the bottle job title where Arsenal were crumbling in the last two games, especially? What have you made of it?
Well, considering Spurs arse at the moment, I'm quite enjoying it. I've got to take the small little wins in life, and these are sadly a small little win, which pains me to say it. But in all honesty, what Arsenal have done this season is something Spurs, and it pains me to say it, something Spurs should have done. I think obviously pipping you to the fourth spot last year gave you that kick up the butt to be like, right, we're stuck with Arteta. This is our plan. We're going to put our faith in these young players, and it's come out good. Yes, obviously, if you don't win the league because you've been in front for so long, everybody's going to call you bottle jobs. I think that's just what it's going to be, whether that's the right thing or not. Because if Tottenham were in the position of Arsenal and we just lost it, we'd get called bottle jobs. But at least there's some plan with you guys. You've got these young players. You've got the Arteta. You've got a plan. You've got a structure to go forward. Spurs at the moment, in comparison, haven't got any of that. So I think you will be called bottle jobs purely because you're out in the lead for so long. But I don't think that's a bad thing, because from where you were to where you are now, next season you're only going to go further on.
Fran, before you come in, because I saw you're going to come before. I'm going to come back to you, Fran. I saw Jamie Carragher actually said a good piece yesterday on Monday Night Football. I forgot the date, but on Monday Night Football, talking about the Arsenal, and he said more to the side of it being a bit more Arsenal being a bit more complacent. And I think he mentioned the word cocky. I saw Henry Winter, who I think is the Times or the Guardian, I can't remember, said it's a little bit disrespectfful to say Arsenal are bottling it. That's just my honest opinion, and I'll make them thoughts clear when I go on another channel at 10 p.m. tonight as well. But Fran, come in. Sorry, that's just my thoughts there quickly.
On the whole bottling thing, I do think it is quite harsh to say that at this stage of the season. It's a different conversation depending on how we finish out the season. But when you compare it to last season, and we lost that, 6-point lead, I think, in the final few games. These two disappointing performances are coming earlier on than that. When that happened last season, we didn't have time to lift our heads up and recover. Really, that was it. We bottled it right at the final whistle. Whereas right now, there's a chance for us to, turn it around, use it as motivation, maybe create a little bit of a siege mentality, saying all these pundits are saying this about you. Everyone thinks you bottled it. It can be turned psychologically into our advantage, I think. So it's not quite as bad as last season yet, but
yeah. Listen, we'll touch on like I said, I think for me, and we've got some good. Thank you for the guys in the chat already. Very lively already. Obviously this is going live on YouTube, Facebook, and retweet on the Twitter feed as well, because we're all talking on there as well. But I would say this is what I would say, Fran. I don't know what you think. And Holly, I might get your thoughts and people in the chat, but. It's very. I get it. It's very hard for Arsenal fans to bite their tongue. What I mean by that is, it's the level, and I'm gonna say it, the level of disrespect, the rival fan comments this season. George Graham done a famous team talk many moons ago. Just Google it and find it. When talking to the Arsenal player, talking about they hate us. Everyone hates us, basically. I've always known it was there.
Yeah.
The last 2-3 years it's ramped up. this season has been something else. In all my years supporting Arsenal, I've never seen it surface the way it has done. Like to the point that listen, I said this, and I was being tongue in cheek, but I was being deadly serious. I went church on Easter Sunday. Yeah, I've seen guys in church I ain't seen there for years, who I know don't support Arsenal. They're praying for the demise of. I'm being deadly serious. Like the level of rival fans that are taking this so to heart just because Arsenal are doing well. It amazes me, to be honest with you. It shocked me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
because you see it.
Yeah, absolutely, I do see it. But people do. I think they have this thing against the Arsenal fan base, particularly because of how like reactionary some of us are online. You know, so I can kind of see why they might kind of be annoyed by some online antics, but to have like top level pundits, Gary Neville, these guys recently, just completely, disrespecting our achievements, downplaying even pundits in game. They won't really, like, very often they won't, they'll just say we played badly rather than the other team played well and stuff. It is so horrible. It's so horrible to watch, but I mean, it shows that you're doing something right, I guess.
Yeah, and Branson Pumpkin, you're right, because I think what it is, and this is to nail it before we move on. Let's cut right to the chase here and cut the BS. Rival fans in particular, Man United, not so much Liverpool. I don't know too many fans that are idiots, basically, if I'm going to be honest. They've had it so easy for the last few years, doing watch-alongs, mocking Arsenal, doing memes, doing this, doing that. So this season has been a massive culture shock to them. I'm seeing people saying Arsenal must win the league. Arsenal have to win the league. I've seen rival fans talking about, oh, don't worry, we'll do you a favor, we'll stop Arsenal win the league. I'm like, wow, really? Is it got to that level?
I've seen a few fans actually, like the more sound-minded ones. You know, you get opposition fans that actually just sound like Holly, saying like, "Oh, I'd like to see you guys do it." I was chatting to, I think it was like a Liverpool fan. It was a Brighton fan as well, saying like, "Oh yeah, like we don't want to see City win again." So, but 99% of people just think it's hilarious and just can't wait for us to slip up. And
it's probably a bit of jealousy as well. The fact that you've stuck with a manager, you've got a young squad. I mean, I feel jealous at the moment, and I hate to say it, but
say that. Sorry, Holly, say that again. Sorry.
I feel jealous of Arsenal, purely because just the way you've managed to do it. I mean, how many managers have we sacked in so little time? And the fact that we haven't brought any real young blood in. I think the fact that you've managed to do it with Arteta, you stuck by your guns, you kept him, you've brought through all these young players. It's just jealousy. I think that's what it is.
You're right. Yeah. Quite a few of the clubs so vocal against Arsenal are ones that badly need to start a rebuild. So, for example, like your Liverpools, Tottenham, Man U are kind of there, but the whole ownership thing, like their clubs are not in a good place. And to see that we're like 4 years into a process that they haven't even started yet, most of them, it could grind your gears, couldn't it? No,
we tried to restart our rebuild for about 4 seasons now. So,
Ollie, that's why I said that we should go and watch the England-Brazil game, so you'll get to see some silverware in your life.
Yeah, you're right.
I was right. I didn't want to say it, but I just thought I'd say it. But no, guys, great stuff, man. Thank you, people in the chat. Fergus, thanks for the kind comment, my friend. Let's move on swiftly now to. I'm going to start with Fran, actually. Premier League title, / top 4 talk, # North London. You notice, Holly, I've put a trophy there and I've put a graph there. So I've tried to balance it out as best as I could.
With a little one, Fran, right?
Yeah. Premier League title. So how do you feel sort of today as maybe the last few weeks? Because obviously the games are whittling down now. We're down into single figures. We'll sort of touch on the up and coming fixtures a little bit more afterwards. But what's your general sort of thoughts and feelings and the chances of Arsenal potentially picking up our first league title in 19 years?
Okay, so it'll be very easy at this point to kind of cut your losses to avoid embarrassment in a few weeks' time potentially, and just say, yeah, we bottled it, we're not winning, I don't expect us to win. And that's the easy way out. But I've come this far this season. The team has convinced me in so many ways. I'm gonna say we can still do it.
Yeah.
I'm even gonna stick with my we will do it. We will do it. We can do it. Because I'm gonna raise my sword and then fall on my sword. Basically. Why are we saying like, oh, we're not guaranteed to win at City, not guaranteed to win at Newcastle? It's this underdog mentality that we really don't need because we've been at the top of the league for 99% of the season. I just think we need to be bold, fearless, continue the charge, and I'm not going to give up till the final day. You know what I mean? I don't know when we'll next be in a title race. It's the first time
That's the thing.
person that we've been in a title race, and I just want to keep the hope alive and the belief alive for as long as possible. Call me deluded, but there's always a chance. It's the 89th minute winner, and in sport, miracles happen. Unexpected things happen, and I'm staying on that train. I'm not switching. I'm not.
Yeah. No, and it's not deluded for what comes to Holly. I think I always say this to you, and I've said this to a lot of people. Yes, I get the whole passion about football and all this malarkey talk. I'll hear that for year upon year. And one thing I'm very conscious of, right? Obviously, as a content creator, is I don't really say too much after games. Like I do my fan counts for respective people, or I might do my review the same day, but I might do it a few hours later because I knew what would happen when the game finished 2-2 against West Ham. I knew what would happen. I didn't have to go and look on Twitter. I knew what would happen because I saw some of the stuff that or people sent it to me. I'm like, wow. I think we ain't lost in 9, 7 wins, 2 draws now. I get I get it. I get the disappointment. Listen, you ain't gonna find no Arsenal fan more than me that wants to go and get them bloody 3 points at Anfield. It's been too long, but it didn't happen. Yes, Sunday was unacceptable for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Fergus has put it in the chat earlier about complacency or arrogance. I think it was definitely complacency, and I'd even go as far to say I thought the players let Arteta down.
Yeah.
Facts.
They dropped the ball. The players dropped the ball.
Yeah, we can sit here and talk about substitutions, which I'm sure we'll touch on probably on Friday against Southampton. We will play Man City. Go on.
So yeah, on Twitter I did say if we don't end up winning the title challenge, I actually deleted the tweet because it just blew up. I said that it's on the Cronkies, and I just wanted to. I ended up deleting it. I was like, I can't deal with this heat.
Don't tweet after a game.
Literally, yeah.
Win or lose. Don't.
But I believe January. I do actually back that because I believe January was an opportunity for us to raise the level of the team and bolster enough that we could finish to the end of the season even stronger than the rest of the season. And Trossard has been an exceptional signing.
He's been a good signing, yeah.
Exceptional. So he's out of the discussion. But Kivior's played once or twice, and he's no real upgrade from any of our other backups in defence, like Holding. And Jorginho, he's only played 2 or 3 times, and when Partey's not been having, I can't remember which game it was, but basically Arteta hasn't trusted him in moments where we could have brought on a really solid defensive midfielder. It's kind of like last ditch attempt, Jorginho. So Trossard's really raised the level, but the others are just no better than, well, Jorginho's been all right, but I do think that a lot more could have been done in January, and I think it's the owners kind of doing just enough rather than really going for it. But that's my point of view. And some people really don't agree. Some people love what they're doing. I just want to see more ambition. I know I'm probably asking a lot, but am I really? We're top of the Premier League. And yeah,
I hear you. Yeah,
I know that comment went down like a lead balloon, but I stand by my
Fran, go on. I'm sending you a virtual hug, but I'm going to come back to that, what you said, but I want to bring Holly and sort of talk about Spurs. But yeah, Fran, one thing I definitely will say is, listen, people are free to do what they want. Don't get me wrong, but I just, from experience, not that I've done it, but when you have a game like that, and being an Arsenal fan, the last thing you should do, trust me, is go on Twitter. It's the last thing you should do. Trust me. But that's just my own personal opinion. But hold on, I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna come back to what Fran said.
I never learn.
No, you will. Don't be silly. No, you will. It's fine. So, Holly, let me come to you. So yeah, sort of the same question to you, really. Which it's gonna lead on to the sort of what we talk about next. But what's your sort of feelings over recent weeks? Not just obviously the game against Bournemouth and what's coming up. We'll touch on that, but how do you feel about the top four? Because obviously Newcastle, despite their defeat against Villa, I think had won 5 on the bounce. They're turning their draws into wins, and they're looking rather good. We still got to go there, as us, me and Fran and the Arsenal fans know. But what's your sort of initial thoughts about Tottenham and top 4 this season?
I think I said a couple of weeks ago, I said, to be honest with you, I see us dropping out of top 4. And I don't think that's going to be a horrendous thing. I think, yes, okay, you need to be in Europe to attract players to come play for you. But while we can't get anything right, starting from manager, what is the point of trying to push for top 4 if it's realistically not going to happen? Saying that, though, Tottenham is very weird and very odd, because we probably go and play Newcastle and get a point against them or get 3 points, just because you can never just think of your head how we're going to play. It can be very hot and cold with Spurs, and this season very much evident so if I was going to look on form, I was going to say I'm very nervous for the upcoming fixtures, especially the way we've performed against the 2 we've just played, but being Spurs, I also know how ridiculous sometimes we can be, and all of a sudden we decide to turn up. So saying that, top 4 maybe not out of the question, but it's going to be a big ask to do so, and I don't think these players have it in them.
Holly, let me get the Holly. Just looking at your 5th at the moment, you are 53 points. So with Newcastle and Manchester United have got a game in hand, and your goal difference is actually you've got better goal difference than Manchester United, but not the Newcastle. Newcastle like almost double. But yeah, Holly, just to say to that, I mean, I know you've got Benton Comis. I know he's a miss. I know he is, but is that really? Is he that big a miss? Hence the reason why your form's that bad, or is it just purely, solely on your defense?
I think even from the start of the season, it was on the defence. We do, like you say, heavily miss Bentancur, because when you watch Spurs at the moment and you see Højbjerg passing the ball sideways and people saying, like, he's just glorified. He is, because you could probably put Winks in there and he still do the same job. And that just highlights where we are at the moment. But I also think it's just a lack of direction off the field as well. Do you hear stories about Sonny being shackled under Conte, and now all of a sudden he's finding his form again? Does that mean other players are shackled under Conte, or does that mean, again, that they're being given miscommunication? Because, again, it's just nothing's working for Spurs at the moment. And I think it is purely, like you said, it is the defence. I mean, you look at Eric Dyer at the back, and you've had comments come out that he should be a midfielder, and we're playing him in defence. I think under Poch we played him as a CDM, and now you've got him as our talisman at the back. So it just kind of highlights that it's just a mess. And I think, like you say, the defence is probably one of the biggest things over our head, and that's something we should have sorted out at the start of this season. And I know we've got Romero, but again, he can be a loose cannon as well.
He's a liability. He is where he tackles.
So although he's got a good presence, that presence sometimes kebabs people in the leg. So it's a bit of 50-50 with that back line. So yeah,
kebabs people in the leg.
Yeah, like just takes them clean out. That's my new word for him. Kebabs. And
this is what I've got you two on, man. Kebabs people in the leg. Holly, let me just ask you, because I hear a lot of Tottenham fans talk about the style of football a lot, right? At Tottenham. I know it wasn't great under Mourinho, because I remember some of the games. I was like, I probably had more fun going to the library to read a book before the football's that poor. How bad is it? Was it worse under Conte or Mourinho, or are they just as bad as each other?
You know what? I said this when we were winning or when we were picking up points. I didn't care how poorly we played, because I think every fan's just frustrated. They want a trophy. We want to win something, especially with the players of Harry Kane and Son, and to think we've got nothing to show for it. So when obviously Jose and Conte came in, I was like, yes, we've got actual winners. But that's never going to work if you never give the tools for those managers that have won stuff to do stuff. I think the biggest thing that irritated me is that we sacked Jose 4 days before a final.
Yeah,
like that just highlights to you what the board want. They want top 4 over trophies and nothing less. So yeah, I think until we've got a style or an ethos at our club again, because everybody's so disconnected with this club at the moment. I don't see any way forward at the moment. And I joke about the fact we've been doing a rebuild for 4 years, but that's literally what we've been doing. Since we sacked Poch, we haven't really moved anywhere forward.
Well, just to ask you one more thing. I don't know, Fran, if you want to come in with something, but let me ask you this. Before it comes out of my head. What's I going to say to you now? No, it's gone out of my head now. Oh, no. No, I think someone just reminded me. Now, let me put the question to you. It's not that question. That wasn't what I was going to ask you. No, it's gone out of my head. It was a good question as well, Holly, man. No, that's it. That's what I was going to ask you. Because I've heard some Tottenham fans say it, and I think it's crazy they should say that. So they say about, would you take sort of top 4 over a trophy? I've heard some Tottenham fans say they take top 4. I think that's lunacy.
It is,
I
but
cannot believe you'd say that.
For me, that just shows you that if there's no ambition, even with our fan base at the minute, what does that say to the board? They're like, oh yeah, we'll just go buy another go-karting track as well to put in the stadium, because clearly don't really care about us winning things. I think it just stems down from the top, and that's all I say. I know you could think, oh, but if you bring in somebody else, another owner, it could be worse. But I'm thinking at the moment, we spent 21 years or so, and we've got one trophy to show for it. Like, it just
2008.
I heard an idea, someone saying Levy's obviously amazing at the business side of things. Obviously, maybe just have him run that. Not that he's the thing is, he'd have to give up control of the football side of things, and then bring in someone who like runs the football. I think you have one anyway, but
we do.
Was that Paratici? Was it?
Yeah, but he's got a bit of a court case over him at the moment, so we'll ignore that bit.
Such
a minor detail.
Yeah, that's quite a big. Yeah, that's not gone down well with Tottenham. Yeah, Paratici. Oh, yeah.
Told you it's a mess.
I told you.
It is.
Holly, well, you know what, Holly? I mean, obviously, me and Fran are quite comfortable in the fact that you support Tottenham, so it's fine. So
it's all good.
Holly, no, it's great to get your thoughts, you guys. People, as I say, obliterate the like button, people. And if you don't know what to do by now, this is what you should do. And there you have it, people. Poke, punch, scratch the like button, and retweet and share. And as you can see, people, my amazing guests have got their Twitter handles going along the bottom of the screen and the boxes in each of our screens. Also, as well, people, which I should highlight from the beginning, but I will not forget to say it. Subscribe to both of these amazing people's channels. And if you don't want to multitask, which you should be able to do anyway, hit the channel links are in the title. So just click, people, and you'll go straight to the channel and you'll do it. Fran's rising right through the subscribers, and Holly's just smashing it as well. So people, football community, please do go and subscribe. And yes, people, I subscribe to both of them.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just hit 400. So, whoa, excited.
That's it. Go on, Fran. Come on, that's it. So people, football community, you know what you need to do. So let's get on with weekly surgery before we close the surgery for today. But let's come to it. Start with Holly first, actually. So prediction / fixture. So your next game, I believe, is Newcastle away, followed by Manchester United at home and then Liverpool away. Now, obviously, I touched on what your thoughts about your top 4 chances are and how you feel about that. How you feel about those 3 games coming up?
Rough, to say the least. I mean, before the Bournemouth game, I was like, oh, home games will be fine. There's we get behind the boys, this, that, and the other. After the weekend, I'm not even excited about home games anymore. So, it's not going to be good. Obviously, Newcastle United's going to be very difficult. But again, like I say with Spurs, you never know what you're going to get. So they might come out and do a mad win for one of them. So who knows?
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Never know what you're gonna get. So yeah, I think if I'm gonna put my actual brain in, which is actually there when I last checked, I think
it is. It's definitely there, Holly. It is.
I reckon out of those games,
how many points out of 9?
2.
Oof, God! So you're gonna get a point on against Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
A point against United. That's a home game.
Mm-hmm. And we
you'll
just
lose
can't seem to do anything against Liverpool. So,
away.
although we
Yeah,
drew against them last season, but
your record's
yeah.
wretched there, man. I don't know when's the last time you won. I mean, Arsenal can't talk. We ain't won this since Arteta was playing. So yeah, but you know what I mean. Yeah, you've got some. You've got your. I mean, us and you have got season-defining games in that period. 100,000,000%. You've always got a chance, Holly, with Tottenham because of your front three, as Mr. Lewis alluded to yesterday, which we'll touch on a little bit. But you've got a puncher's chance. You always got a puncher's chance. But the way you're playing at the moment for the games that I've seen, and defensively how you are, Liverpool, you don't know what you're going to get with them. I mean, they put in 6 yesterday against Leeds, but Leeds are offering sweets for free the way they're playing defensively. But and then obviously Liverpool's a tough one. You don't know what you're going to get. Like you said, your record's not great there. United at home, toss a coin on the one with that. Really, I know United have, got European competition, and obviously they've got a decent record at your ground, actually, I think, but tough again. But so you say 2 points out of 9, Holly. Wow.
I could have said 1, but I was feeling a little bit optimistic.
I mean, if I'm being kind, looking at your fixtures, oh dear.
Good start.
I think if you get 4 points out of 9 in them games, I think you've done well. I think you've done very, very well.
That would be nice.
Considering 2 of those games are away at Anfield and Newcastle.
Yeah, not fun.
Yeah, Newcastle. So Holly, I what I would say is through gritted teeth, good luck.
Thanks. I'm on holiday for those games, so I don't care.
Where are you going?
Cyprus.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, here we go. Look, you see, Fran, she's got a get out clause already. Oh, here we go. Look, let's do it for the Arsenal fans. Maybe in cheek. Fair play. And Fran, obviously coming to you. I will be at the game on Friday against Southampton. I wasn't going, but luckily, a good friend of mine who's not even going to be in the country has allowed me to go. I'll be at club level as well. So not bad. And Fran, I will model your beautiful top as well, my Martinelli.
No way! Oh, thank you.
We'll do. But yeah, Fran, we've got to get back to winning ways ASAP. So we need to go from we're 4 points ahead. Obviously, hopefully get the win against a very poor Southampton side. I think they got a goal. They got a goal difference of like -30. I think it is. They ain't won in 100 games.
They seem to kind of step up though for the big games. I mean, they held City 0-0 for like 30 minutes. They when we went to their ground, we drew with them. I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. I think when they've got a big game, they can really like dig their heels in and get physical. But we should have enough to win convincingly as long as we don't panic and just play our game, stay calm. At the moment, we can't seem to stay calm. So
Fran, basically what you're saying is if Arsenal go 2-0 up, you can start panicking.
Yes.
The only thing I had this discussion, Fran, with an Arsenal fan, and he's saying to me, I'm worried about this is before we played West Ham, but I'm worried about the Southampton game. I said to him, all right, look at our fixtures that we've got left. If you're worried about the Southampton game out of the games we've got left, then you've got a serious problem.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm not worried about it in terms of like, oh, this is a game I'm dreading. I just think it's going to be a bit tougher than we may think, but we've had lots of games like that and we'll have enough to overpower them. But yeah, and by no means a walk in the park, but we should get it done.
Yeah, I think Arsenal needs to go and stamp their authority. And I think Southampton. I think if Southampton lose that game, I think they're down. I don't think they'll come back anyway. But Holly, don't do that because you never know. We might have people from Southampton watching this. It's unlikely, but don't do that because you've got to live in that area. And then
I'm Portsmouth now. I'm in the dark side, so it's fine.
They'll still come and find you anyway. But yeah, Holly, you can get away with that because you're on an Arsenal channel, really. But I mean, hopefully those Southampton fans watching because Holly might just get a few DMs. But Fran, yes. So Southampton, obviously Friday, and then we have the season-defining game next Wednesday against Man City. Now, before I come back to you, Fran, quickly, I'm going to talk about Twitter specifically with regards to this because
go on.
I think I don't know. I mean, everyone's different. I get it, but I always say with Twitter, it's how you use it as an individual. And Arsenal fans don't do themselves any favors because you're saying that you're nervous about the games anyway, with like 10 games to go. You're making it worse for yourself. So I don't know how they're going to feel come Tuesday night or Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon. Because so, Fran, we're in a position. Look, all this disaster talk and crumbling and City of favourites, and let's cut through all the red tape, right?
Yeah.
This, if someone had offered us this with 7 games to go to be 4 points ahead going into the Man City game. Sorry, 7 points ahead. Say if we win on obviously Friday, we get to the Man City game 7 points ahead to play in Man City. Arsenal fans would have bit your hand off. But I get it. You're coming up against a juggernaut in Man City, who are in imperious form. But listen, Arsenal fans have complained for years about being competitive, about challenging for the league title. We are exactly in that position as we have been for the season, and even more so Wednesday. I know we've still got the Southampton game, Fran, but what's your thoughts and feelings about obviously City away and then obviously Chelsea afterwards?
Yeah, Chelsea afterwards, I'm not too worried about.
Poor Frank Lampard, good son.
I am most worried about obviously City and Newcastle away. I believe is it away or is it home?
Yeah, Newcastle away.
Yeah, that's a scary atmosphere. But you know, it was very much doom and gloom. However, I haven't said the title's gone at all yet. And a few days later, as you're right, it's still in our hands. Ruth!
Yeah, love Ruth. Love Ruth.
Hello, Ruth. So I think we can go there and do it. Last season when we went away there, we gave them what was the final score, but we gave them a really good game. If I remember, or am I completely making that up?
No, so keep talking. I remember.
But we keep getting like really close to getting a result there, and it feels like we're getting closer and closer. And it just depends on whether we can regain the beautiful football confidence that we've had for the rest of the season. I think people are feeling less confident because of the last couple of games. If we asked maybe 5 weeks ago or something, we're playing City away, everyone would be coming at it with chest saying, we can do this. So yeah, that's how I want the team to feel, how I want the fan base to feel going into it. It's going to be tough, but I think we can do it. Nervous, and I'm worried about, do you think Saliba's going to be around?
Right, so let's get into
this. Is it? It's not looking likely.
Fran, I'm glad you brought this up, because apparently they released a photo that he's in the gym. I'm like, no, Fran. Let me add a bit more to that. Beat on the bows, right? I'm like, you know, he could have been. I mean, he was on the exercise bike, but he could have been for all I know. He could have been going past through the gym to go to the toilet. I mean, I don't know, but obviously that wasn't the reason. But
exercise bike is bad, because when I was on injury rehab for my back, I had to do non-impact stuff. So that was swimming and exercise bike. So to me, that I would have a stab in the dark and say that he can't fully do impact stuff yet.
I mean, I've heard so many different things with William Saliba.
Let's just assume he's not around.
Yeah. I said at the time, I think he'd be lucky if we see him back before the Chelsea game, to be honest with you. And even with that, I think it's a stretch. It's a back injury.
Yeah.
You monitor it day to day. Apparently, I think Arsenal have been very, very coy about it, and I just think because they just don't want to put anything out there. Simple.
Yeah, we just don't know, do we? So I think we have to prepare for going into the Etihad without him. And I think we'll get into all the lineup talk. But me personally, I prefer to see Tierney play over Holding. And then so it's back line of Ben White, Gabriel, Tierney, and Zinchenko. But we'll get into all that at a later date, I think.
Yeah.
Not that he's done a bad job. I just think Tierney's tough as nails and Holding, But that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be much change personally. I think Arsenal fans, you can second guess as much as you want. We've kept kind of a solid team throughout the course of the season. If you really, really want to analyze it, there's not been too much change. And it's interesting to bring up Tierney before we move on. Holly, listen, this with Arsenal fans, right? This is. Let me give you a little bit of a synopsis, right? So there's certain players at Arsenal in terms of squad players I would have moved on quite a few seasons ago, because I don't think they're good enough. Arsenal now section Arsenal. No, we need to keep him squad depth. These guys come in now. So I see people talking about Zinchenko. We need to be at the team. Bring Tierney in. Obviously, Zinchenko misses the game against West Ham because of injury. Tierney comes in. Then you'll see floods of YouTube channels. We miss Zinchenko in the middle. It's just something you can't. There's no context. We knew he's going to miss Zinchenko because the way he plays in that inverted role. So you want squad depth, and then when we put the players in, you complain and say they're not good enough. Arsenal fans, you can't have it both ways. Because obviously, as a fan, you felt they're good enough to be in the squad. So when they do come in and play, listen, we can't rely on a bulk of 12, 13 players to get us through the course of a season. It's not going to happen. Definitely not for a league title run anyway. But yeah, listen, James, I saw your comment about, you take photos in it doesn't mean you're going to play against City. You're right, James. I'm not going to play against City.
I had another thing as well. I would like to see Saka perhaps rested just for a mental reset, for a large, maybe the first bit, have Trossard start, and then just rest Saka mentally so that he's firing on all cylinders for Southampton.
No, I hear you. Go on,
no, you're right about the retrospective hindsight sort of comments. And I was saying I wanted I wanted to see Tierney come in, and then, but not. No, wait.
No, go on.
But then I did admit, like, oh, okay, yeah, no, like, he's not the Messiah. He did okay, but yeah, I felt quite personally attacked when you said that, Albert.
What's that about? What?
Because I wanted to see Tierney play.
No, I wasn't attacking. I'm saying that in terms of the Arsenal fans complain about the squad depth, and then when these players come in and play, you say that you miss Zinchenko. I'm like, but it's as Arsenal, you can't win. As you know, he picks the players you want, he uses the squad depth. They're not good enough, but then you say you want to keep them because of the squad depth. Yeah. Go figure, people. But anyway, people in the chat, smash the like button. Holly, going to come to you because of the last question of weekly surgery. A bit random, but I like to get people's thoughts. I've got mine. Shall I go mine first? I'm going to come to you two. It doesn't matter. Premier League form player. Hashtag your choice. Hashtag who's it going to be? Now, I did brief the guys. It can't be Tottenham and Arsenal. But my one, I'm going to go to mine very quickly. This was a no-brainer for me, actually. And fair play to him as well. Ollie Watkins. Absolute fire. Since the World Cup, he has 8 goal involvements since the last 6. 11 in 12 goals, 11 goals in 12 games. I don't know what's happened since, obviously, he didn't go to the World Cup. He's been phenomenal. And to be fair to him, you know what? When you come from the Championship into the Premier League, I think he got the move from Brentford to Villa. I think it was 27 or 28 million initially, and then I think it was like £7 million in add-ons, which was quite a bit of money for a guy that's only playing in the Championship, but had a decent kind of first season, bagged the brace against Arsenal, I think he scored a hat-trick against Liverpool or a double, I can't remember. But under Unai Emery, he's hit a rich vein of form, and you know what? He deserves the plaudits, and if he's not in the next England squad, then I'll ring Gareth Southgate personally myself, and I'm not even a Villa fan, so yeah, that's my form player at the moment, people. So salute to Ollie Watkins, mate. Well done, mate. Well done. Great goal scoring form. Let me come to Super Holly.
Well, as you know, I don't watch much football apart from the dross that Spurs. And that being said, the one player that stood out for me, obviously we played against him. It's probably because our defence let him have a free run here, there, and everywhere. But it was, and I butcher his name every time. But
I know you're going to say.
Can you say it for me, please? Because I'll butcher it.
Was he a Brighton player?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, that one. I can't say his name. That one, purely because, like I said, he ripped us to shreds. He got a bit unlucky with the handball decision. That was obviously.
Oh, you can say that again.
A little bit, a tiny bit. So that being said, and then I think, was it the game after? It was against Chelsea as well. He got the same sort of thing. So apart from not keeping his hands to himself on the football pitch, away from the ball, he's done really well. And the fact, was it like something ridiculous, like 3 million, or like a really stupid price that he came to Brighton for as well?
Yeah, he came from the Japanese J League.
So when people say it takes a long time to adjust to the Premier League, he's living embodiment that it doesn't actually. So Ndombele hasn't got a leg to stand on. So yeah, for me, he's the one that's shone out for me.
Good shout. Yeah, he's a brilliant player. There's others I can think of. I know he's playing in a struggling team, but Wilfred Noncha at Leeds as well. But Fran, coming to you, I think you got the same person, but you might have another one. I don't know.
No, you stole my player.
You can talk about him anyway, Fran. Go on.
Oh yeah, well, I just was amazed by. I fully properly watched Brighton. Which game was it? Who have they just played? It doesn't matter.
They played Tottenham recently, and they played
Chelsea,
they played Chelsea. They played them off the park.
Chelsea one. I really watched him, and his dribbling skills are just insane. Amazing. The ball stuck to his feet. He's so light, nimble. And did you know? I only just found this out, but so he did a degree back in. Where is he? Japanese?
Yes, he is.
I think so. In either Japan or wherever he went to uni. So he did like sports. Physical something degree, and his thesis he did it in dribbling.
I heard this.
Right, I read about it today, and it was all about like analyzing his friends, like doing and different like world-class players dribbling and stuff. And like by the end of it, he said that his skills and like mental understanding of best ways to dribble and like your body weight and stuff like that. Yeah, I just think that's such an amazing story, and how that he's fully put his mind to something, and it's absolutely paid off. So I think for me it just shows a fantastic mindset, a true love and passion for the game. Yeah, awesome player. I want to just poach everyone from Brighton.
Let me give a big shout out to Jez, man. Jez, appreciate you for tuning in, man. Thank you, Jez, man. Legend Jez, man.
Can I just add something real quick? I know that there were a few people in the chat with completely opposing views, Arsenal fans.
As always.
Rancid, yeah, no, listen, Rancid, sorry, Rancid Pumpkin and Jez. And, you know, sometimes discussions like that can get so personal. But these guys, I've just been following it. It's been really lovely to see people at completely opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of Arteta and stuff. Just discussing and learning from each other. And that's always what I like to see. So,
yeah. Fran, I couldn't have said it better myself. It's fantastic. But no, big up to people in the chat. Big up to the people in the chat. It's been very, very lively. People, get your virtual waves and hugs goodbye, because we will be departing the Albert JTV household and the surgery and every other surgery that's needed. So people, please get your waves and goodbyes in. But and in fact, the big up to the people in the chat. Fantastic interaction. For those that stayed for the whole live stream and partly or joined in a bit later. But let me give a massive plaudits to my amazing two blonde bombshells. I have to say this. Both, firstly, I love you both, even though you sit at both different ends of football teams. But it happens. It happens. But firstly, to my YouTube Tottenham wife. Firstly, I'm going to say this to you. So I'm not going to get too emotional, but I'm super. We got speaking however long it was ago. We've got on like a house on fire, which we shouldn't be really. But I know, I think you're amazing. You've got a great channel. Love you to pieces. Fair play to get in Darren Lewis on yesterday, because listen, the top guy is very fair in what he says about most clubs. So to get him onto your channel, that's a big move, man. So I even watched the show. I even hit the like button for Tottenham channel. I can't believe it. But yeah, Holly's super proud of you, and the match of the day 2 thing. I was like an emotional husband.
No, thank you. Like I say, I do it because there's people out there that want to watch it, and I need a hobby. Otherwise, I'm going to go insane if I can't talk about Spurs and get it out of my system. But it's so nice to, like I say, I'm not getting emotional as well, but to meet you and meet other people like Fran and all my other like Spurs mates, because you do need it sometimes just to talk football. But like I say, make sure you're all subscribing to Albert JTV and go check out Fran as well.
Yeah, and people, like I said, I know Holly's my obviously Tottenham wife, but you please go and subscribe to her, people. It's not hard. It's in the title, so just click it. Holly, great to get you on for weekly surgery. Great debut, man. Great debut. Fire. And obviously, last but not least, this portrait queen of a woman. Look at her. Fran, thank you for freeing up your time and of coming on for weekly surgery for your second time. Tell the people where they can find you and your amazing channel and your merch.
Oh, thank you. I've really loved it. Pleasure to meet you too, Holly. You're great. I'm a fan. No problem. So yes, my name's Fran. I go by Goal Art, so online. As I always say, I have questionable football opinions sometimes, but that doesn't matter because my main thing is my artwork.
Yes.
And my merch. So if I have a terrible take, I can just say, but look at this painting. You see one of the shirts behind you. Oh, and Albert's hoodie and stuff. So I design a range of, I found out there wasn't much like football streetwear around. You're either in like your full kit or your casual. So I wanted to try and make some kind of in-between stuff. Oh, it looks awesome, Albert. So this is the first range of designs. I've got lots more coming out, different ideas, colorful ones. Really loving it. And you can find that all at goalartso.com and also the YouTube channel by the same name and on Instagram too. So thank you, Albert, for letting me shout it out.
No worries. Listen, man, it's been amazing. Great therapy to talk about football, and just in time before Champions League kicks off as well. So I know my time is bad. People, smash the like button, subscribe to Albert J TV. Yes, well, life stories and weekly surgery are my two babies, as well as doing the regular content. I'll be on another channel at 10 p.m. Football Heritage TV. Not just Tottenham fans, not just Arsenal fans, all different fans.
Yes, ever.
Yeah, so I'll be yes.
Oh, give him a word from me.
I will give him a word when I speak to him. That bloody geek. No, Sav's cool with me, man. Like, he's all right. I like Sav. But
I like him.
So yeah, people, Albert J TV, that's me over and out. I do have an intro somewhere, but hopefully I haven't found it if I can find it. But where's it gone now? But now, people, like I said, subscribe to the channel, and audio listeners, this will go out on Spotify and Anchor, so it will hear everybody's dulcet tones from Eastleigh, Guildford, and Southeast London. So that is us. Over and out, people. Albert J TV practice is now officially closed for the night. See you soon, people.